I've said it and mentioned it in a couple of videos now. I think I am very much resigned to the fact we are going to get Prime Minister Truss. And good God, good Lord, help us all then. Save us from this awful woman. But yeah, unfortunately, that's what's going to happen. We are going to get Prime Minister Truss. And I really fail to see how long she can survive. Because she may very well pull a Johnson. She may very well have her own scandals, her own situations where she manages just to limp on, to, get that paddle and keep on paddling down the river. She may very, very well prove herself to be just as an elusive target as many people were gunning for Johnson, going back through all those other scandals, saying, no, he should be going now. I think Truss may prove to be very much the same. And November will be the big challenge for her. November will be the biggest challenge of all, because the cost of living crisis is going to collide. You've got the energy price rises, everything all coming together to make this absolute, crisis of crises, I suppose, an almost infinite crisis in a way, that will explode in November. And Liz Truss will be forced, because I don't think she'll have any choice, to do some serious government intervention. And if she doesn't, well, the Tories are almost guaranteed to lose the next general election. Because if the Tories just do nothing during this absolutely awful winter that we've got predicted, a brand new, winter of discontent that a lot of people are predicting, from economists to everyone else looking at, the state of the UK, things are not looking good. So before we continue, please remember to that like and share button as well, by the way, while we're here. And yes, well, no, it's after Yorkshire Day, but yes, happy Yorkshire Day, because I'm doing this on Yorkshire Day. So happy Yorkshire Day from Yorkshire. But this is, the nightmare scenario, because Truss is going to be absolutely awful. She is not a leader. She is once again going to put people in power who are just as awful. And we were predicting a couple of weeks ago that maybe John Wedgwood, a very senior ERGer, and at least someone who maybe could have, helped, and I say helped in extreme, brackets, helped the economic situation of the UK. But no, we're hearing now Liz Truss wants to give the position of Chancellor to Theresa Coffey, of all people. Someone who has absolutely destroyed single-handedly the benefit system in the UK, and has made, not that it was in a good state to begin with, but when she came in, she has made the situation 10 times worse. Absolutely 10 times worse from what we've been hearing. And you've got news stories about people wondering, well, if the prices go up like this much as people predicting, well, I won't be able to pay. I'll be bankrupt. And we've already got a movement starting by Martin Lewis, who's come out and said, oh, look, don't pay. Will it take root? I really can't say, but I think maybe in a couple of months' time, maybe in, November time, maybe it will be a full-blown movement. It could very well happen, and that could have huge economic consequences if you've got, the vast majority of UK people now basically saying we're refusing to pay our bills because, energy companies are profiting insane amounts of money while charging ridiculous amounts of money, which, the general public can literally just not afford. that's going to be a potential another crisis that Prime Minister Truss is not going to be able to deal with. Because what's her answer to that? She's not going to punish the energy companies. No, she's probably going to allow the energy companies to like recoup their losses in some, god awful way that we can't predict yet. And unless something happens, unless a serious crisis happens, or like a scandal breaks, I think in the next 2 weeks or something like that, I think she's got it. I do not think Sunak has a chance. Sunak could all of a sudden take on the monumental running power of Usain Bolt, but try as he might, Sunak will not be able to catch Liz Truss. His opportunity, his serious opportunity to actually catch Liz Truss was the first week of the contest. As soon as the final two had been announced, Sunak should have been out there rolling up his sleeves, turning up his trousers, jumping into the mud pit and grabbing his shovel and literally just flinging, as much mud as he possibly could on Truss, just calling out how awful she was, like as a minister, and digging up every single tidbit he could find about her time, in these departments. Just this is just how bad Liz Truss really is. Do you really want this, this person to be prime minister? Just look how bad she is, and it says a lot where you've got people like the defense minister, coming out and going, well, you know what? She might not be the best communicator in the world, but it just goes to show you how authentic she is. What do you mean authentic? Just because she's a quote a bad communicator does not make her more authentic. If anything, it makes her worse, because you'd expect someone who is the prime minister to at least be a good communicator. And I'll tell you this now, Starmer's going to have a field day on the first PMQs. He's going to have an absolute easy day. This will literally be like Boris Johnson on easy mode constantly. Because Truss does not have his personality, she does not have his turn of phrase, and she does not have the ability, as we've seen in the debates, to perform well when, essentially under pressure. And I really can't see Sunak catching up. I really can't. And like I say, ballots are set to land with a lot of Conservative voters this week. And I will say this now: there are a lot of people out there and commentators and that have done polls, and they're all saying it. Truss is miles ahead. He's seen, rather than the rescue Rishi as he once was during the furlough, he's now Rishi the tax Rishi the tax grabber, Rishi the tax riser, or Rishi the riser, as he's been sort of dubbed very much in the right wing press. His betrayal of Boris Johnson. He really should be answering when he gets asked by these questions, as he was in Leeds just last week. His answer should be, I'm not responsible for the fall of Boris Johnson. Boris Johnson is responsible for the fall of Boris Johnson. I just, did the right thing because it was very clear that Johnson wasn't going to do the right thing. That will be the right answer. But he is so scared of, attacking Johnson, who has still a lot of support, shockingly amount of support in the Conservative, not the parliamentary party. Well, it depends how many people still support him in the parliamentary party, but in the Conservative Party members, he has a lot of support, a shockingly amount of support. So he's terrified of generally attacking, Boris Johnson. But I will say this now: it is a all or nothing for both Liz Truss and Rishi Sunak. Because I'll tell you what, if Rishi Sunak somehow manages to win, Truss is not being in her in his cabinet. She is being consigned to the backbenchers, probably never to return. Her political career over and done with at that point. And let's face it, if when Truss does win, which again all the polls are showing it, Sunak is not being reappointed chancellor. He is being, again, his political career is over. And a lot of people have said it. He is, got that green card in his back pocket. He will probably resign as an MP and then will fly off to California. And that will probably be the last we may ever see of Rishi Sunak in UK political life. It's very, very possible. So, here we go, folks. You thought you had seen the worst prime minister possible under Boris Johnson. Well, I'm here to tell you, Liz Truss is sprinting towards the finish line, and Rishi Sunak is not even anywhere. No signs of him are on the horizon. He can't come unless something happens at the 11th hour to save him, which is very unlikely at this point. We are looking at Prime Minister Truss, and as I've said before, you are not prepared, and neither am I, for what is about to happen. And oh boy indeed. So yeah, if you want to, continue with this madness and see for yourself what happens under this, this Truss premiership, remember to hit the subscribe button, and of course, there is obviously the like and share button to share my misery with the world, and with the rest of Europe, to tell them what's going on in the UK, and even in the UK, come huddle round, I share your misery as well at this absolutely, god awful leadership contest that's going on. We can only pray that maybe Truss is stupid enough to call a leadership contest. And especially the way that polling is showing, the Labour Party almost certainly would walk that leadership contest. So, here's to a very, very quick PMship of Prime Minister Truss, and hopefully not 2 years of it. So, as always, thank you very much for watching, and we'll see you all next time.